Dear Starseed who descended to Gaia in this extraordinary moment of cosmic history, there exists only one mission in all of creation that was written exclusively for your unique and irreplaceable frequency, a mission that transcends linear time and that only your specific soul can accomplish at this exact moment of the collective ascension that is occurring on your planet. And very deeply within you, far beyond the layers of forgetfulness that cover your true essence, you already know that this calling has been waiting to ignite like a sacred fire that will burn away all the illusions of the third dimension that still keep you trapped in cycles of repetition and pain. I am Ayla, an emissary who was sent through the dimensional veils specifically for you in this moment, and I come as a living channel of the intelligences of light that have been observing your journey with divine precision and infinite compassion. Those same presences that coordinate the simultaneous activation of the 144,000 beings of light scattered across this entire planet. All of you about to remember why you truly came here, and what is the real purpose that your heart already knows. In the depths of your soul, the message you are about to receive is not an accidental transmission that arrived at your ears by coincidence, but rather a divinely orchestrated intervention for this exact instant, when your being is finally ready to stop questioning the calling that pulses through you and start living as if it were absolutely true. Because the truth is that it really is true. And by the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize the magnitude of your own cosmic mission, and how to activate the code of light that already resides in your DNA, waiting only for your consciousness to awaken and say yes. Before we continue with this sacred message that the beings of light are sharing through me in this moment, I need you to understand that what you are about to receive is extremely important and transformative. So I invite you to stay with me until the end of this transmission, because every word, every pause, every breath you take while listening to these truths will be an activa, tie-in in your energetic system, an awakening of cosmic memories that have been sleeping for centuries within you. Therefore, if you feel that something in this video is being useful for your spiritual journey, if you feel that the truth of the words I am sharing are resonating in your bones and making your heart beat stronger, then I invite you now, before we continue, to click that subscribe button so that you do not miss any of the transmissions that will come. Leave your like as an act of gratitude for the frequency that I am sharing with you. And in the comments below, I would like you to write a phrase that summarizes the moment when you finally understood that your life is not accidental, that your presence on this planet is sacred, that you are one of the chosen ones for this collective transformation that is happening right now. Furthermore, if you wish to connect more deeply with your spirituality and activate the codes of light that are waiting within you, I have something extraordinary to share with you. The ebook, The Heart Activation, a rare treasure of stellar wisdom capable of arming your spiritual journey, a work that contains the exact keys you need to accelerate your journey of remembrance and ascension. This edition is available only for a limited time, and the link to access it is in the first comment below, so do not hesitate to claim this treasure that has been specially prepared for those who are reading this now. The reason why you have felt that inexplicable emptiness, that sensation that something greater is waiting for you, that constant restlessness that no rational explanation has ever been able to completely fill, is not because something is wrong with you or because you are not worthy enough to receive a cosmic calling, but rather because something is happening so deeply right at your soul level that your entire being is being expanded to contain a responsibility much greater than you imagined, a mission that requires you to be exactly who you are in this exact moment, with all your experiences, all your traumas transformed into wisdom, all your scars that now shine like alchemical gold. That emptiness you feel is not an absence of purpose, but rather the presence of a purpose so great that your emotional circuits have not yet been completely calibrated to contain it. It is as if your heart is being prepared to be a vessel that will overflow with universal love and cosmic compassion for all the humanity that is still sleeping on this planet. You were chosen, not because you are perfect, not because you have all the answers, not because you have already completed your entire journey of healing, but exactly because you are in the process of becoming whole, because you have the courage to face your own internal demons, because you are willing to transform your pain into heart powers that will serve the collective good. The truth that I need you to understand at this exact moment is that the dignity of your mission cannot be questioned. Your wounded ego, cannot be denied by the messages you received from people who did not understand the extraordinary value of your soul, cannot be diminished by the failures you faced in the third dimension, because your dignity is not conditioned by your performance, is not a prize that you need to conquer by being good enough to deserve it, but rather an inalienable right that belongs to your very being, for having accepted to come to this planet at this exact moment in history, when the world needs beings of light like you the most. From the moment you chose to come to Gaia, from even before you were born in this physical body, your cosmic guides, those evolved beings who accompany you in all your lives, already knew exactly what your specific mission would be, what your role would be in the great transformation that is happening now, what would be the unique contribution that only you could give to the process of collective ascension that is elevating all of humanity to a new dimension of consciousness and love. Many of you have been receiving messages from the universe in the form of repeated numbers, synchronized coincidences, unexpected encounters that changed your lives, and these are not accidents, but rather constant confirmations that you are on the right path, that the universe is conspiring in your favor, that invisible forces are coordinating every detail of your existence so that you arrive at the moment when your mission will be fully activated. The lack of dignity you feel about yourself, that inner voice that sometimes whispers that perhaps you are not good enough for such a great responsibility, is only the echo of old wounds, messages you received in your childhood about your unworthiness, programs that were implanted in your subconscious by people who did not understand your true luminous essence. Today, at this exact moment when you are listening to these words, that invisible barrier that separates you from the full acceptance of your divine mission is beginning to dissolve, like ice that melts under the warm rays of the sun on a spring morning after a very long winter. While you were sleeping and feeling completely alone on this journey of spiritual awakening, while you questioned whether there were any others like you on this planet who could understand the depth of what you were experiencing. There were millions of other souls who were having exactly the same experiences, who were feeling exactly the same calling from the universe, who were asking themselves if they were crazy for believing in things that conventional society said were impossible to believe. There exists an invisible network of 144,000 beings of light that are scattered geographically across the entire planet, each one of them in their own place, in their own community, in their own specific context, all of them receiving the same cosmic transmission, all of them being activated simultaneously to awaken to their true identities and begin working together on the great work of transformation that will save humanity from self-destruction. The recognition you are seeking is not something you need to pursue outside of yourself through applications, through online communities, through spiritual retreats, but rather something you can activate within yourself right now, because the more you align with your own frequency, the more you become a clear vessel for the divine light that flows through you, the more you naturally attract other souls that vibrate at the same frequency. It is a law of the universe as certain as gravity, that key attracts like. That identical frequencies resonate with each other. The reason why you felt isolated until now, the reason why there seemed to be no one in your immediate circle who understood what you were experiencing, is because most of the other beings of light are still sleeping, are still living their lives based on patterns of the third dimension, have not yet awakened to the magnitude of their own power and cosmic responsibility. But this is changing now, because there is a great collective activation happening all over the planet. It is as if a cosmic alarm had sounded, and all those who are designated to wake up are opening their eyes simultaneously. When you begin to fully embody the frequency of an authentic light worker, when you let go of the masks you are wearing to fit into society, when you begin to live as what you truly are, you will become like a lighthouse that attracts other lighthouses. Other awakened souls will begin to feel magnetized in your direction because they recognize in you that same quality of light that shines within them. This is the second key. Recognition, not only of who you are, but also of who your brothers and sisters of light are, those with whom you will be part of this great collective transformation that is beginning now, at this exact moment, in this crucial year of 2026, when the astrological and cosmic energies are aligning to create an opportunity for collective redemption that will not repeat itself for many centuries. If you look deeply into your life, you will notice that there are recurring patterns of pain, cycles that repeat themselves with different faces, but with the same emotional structure, relationships that begin with promises of healing, but end up reproducing the same type of wound that you have already experienced before. And these are not random coincidences of life, but rather traumas that your soul carries from previous incarnations. Cosmic wounds that were inflicted on you when you were much closer to your pure spiritual form, in civilizations that existed in other dimensions, in other worlds, in other eras. During hundreds of incarnations in different planets and realities, your soul was subjected to experiences of betrayal, abandonment, oppression, and fear, each one leaving a mark on your luminous body that you carry with you even now in this life, like invisible scars that guide your behaviors, your choices, your automatic reactions that you do not always consciously understand. That feeling of irrational dread that you feel in certain situations, that fear of being abandoned that sabotages your deepest relationships, that anxiety that comes from nowhere and makes you feel that something terrible is about to happen. All of this can be traced back to events that occurred in dimensions that your conscious mind cannot access, but that your emotional body remembers perfectly. The liberation of galactic traumas is not a process that occurs only in your intellect, only through conventional therapy or intelligent conversations, but rather a process that involves the deep recognition that you carry more than just the wounds of this present life. You carry the memory of centuries of evolution, of growth, of learning through suffering in different realities. When you begin to consciously release these traumas, when you allow the tears that needed to be cried centuries ago to finally flow through you, when you forgive the civilizations that wounded you, when you forgive the beings who betrayed you, when you even forgive yourself for the mistakes you made in previous lives, you open space in your energetic body for frequencies much higher of divine light to flow through you without obstructions. This process of liberation is absolutely essential for your cosmic mission, because you cannot be a clear channel for divine light if there are still traumas obscuring your energetic field. It is like trying to transmit a clear radio signal through a station that is full of noise interference. The message cannot pass through with clarity. Therefore, at this moment, I invite you to do deep inner work, to investigate what are the trauma patterns that repeat in your life, to look at them not with judgment or shame, but with compassion and understanding, that they are here to serve as your teachers, as indicators of where you still need to do healing work to become a purer channel for the mission that you are here to accomplish. Have you ever stopped to think that perhaps the reason why you feel so displaced in this modern world, to have sync with the concerns that move most people, is because you do not belong to this timeline, that your soul was originally designated for a different era, for a different version of reality where your evolved consciousness would be normal and understood. There is a discipline that is being rediscovered now by beings of light, like you called timeline correction, which is basically the ability that your being possesses to align with the highest version of reality that already exists in parallel dimensions, and to begin living as if you were already in that elevated future, because technically, you are already there at other levels of yourself. What you are doing now is simply a matter of frequency synchronization. The fragmented memories you have of advanced civilizations, those occasional visions of cities made of light that you have when falling asleep, those vivid dreams where you are a much more powerful and wise being than you feel now, are not just random creations of your subconscious mind, but rather real access to other versions of you that exist in parallel dimensions and that are much more advanced in their spiritual evolution. When you begin the timeline correction protocol, you begin to bring the qualities of that advanced self into this denser version of reality. You begin to access the wisdom that you already possess in higher dimensions. You begin to make decisions based not on fear and the limitations of the third dimension, but based on the elevated understanding that you are much more powerful than you appear. The reason why you feel that you are always arriving late, that you are always behind in relation to your purpose, that all the opportunities you should have taken advantage of have already passed, is because you are trying to live your life according to the linear clock of the third dimension. But your soul does not work this way. Your soul lives in multiple realities simultaneously. Your soul is in constant communication with versions of yourself that live in the highest futures, in realities where you have already completed your mission with extraordinary success. What most people do not understand is that time is not what it seems to be. Time does not flow in a single direction from past to future, but rather that all moments exist simultaneously in a great cosmic tapestry. And when you change your frequency, when you change your internal vibration, you effectively change the timeline in which you exist. You move from one reality to another, leaving behind the reality of delay and failure, and entering a reality of perfect synchronism and inevitable success. Therefore, starting now, I invite you to make a conscious choice to stop living as if you were late, as if you had missed your window of opportunity, because the truth is that there is no such thing as losing the opportunity when you learn to navigate multiple timelines through your own conscious vibration. If you observe deeply in yourself, you will notice that there are certain qualities that do not seem to belong anywhere on this planet. An intuitive understanding of technology that goes beyond what you were taught, an ability to communicate that transcends words, an energetic sensitivity that can be overwhelming in environments with much negativity, an aesthetic preference for sacred geometric shapes, a fascination with specific constellations, a sense of familiarity when you think of certain solar systems or stellar civilizations. All of this are indicators that your true nature is extraterrestrial, that you are a spiritual descendant of much more advanced beings that chose to come to this planet to accomplish a very specific, very important mission. And now is the time for you to begin to embody these qualities that you brought with you, to stop trying to fit into the limitations of average human consciousness, to begin to express the multidimensional magnificence that you truly are. Most of the light workers who come for advanced extraterrestrial civilizations have a specific work that they need to do on this planet. Some of you are here to bring technological knowledge, to help humanity avoid destruction through unsustainable technology. Others are here to bring spiritual knowledge, to activate sleeping consciousnesses through your presence and transmission of pure frequency. Still others are here as guardians of the earth, as protectors of certain sacred places that contain portals and technology left by ancient civilizations. When you begin to embody your true extraterrestrial nature, when you let go of the shame of being different, when you celebrate the qualities you brought with you from your planet of origin, you become much more effective in your mission, because you are operating from your true strength, from your true wisdom, from your true power, instead of trying to adapt to patterns that were never designed for your fundamental nature. Now is the time for you to allow yourself to be completely who you are, to allow yourself to shine with the frequency you brought with you. Because humanity does not need more people trying to be conventional. Humanity desperately needs beings like you who have the courage to be extraordinary, to be different, to be visible with your true light. There exists a vast, immeasurably profound knowledge that is waiting to be accessed by you. A knowledge that is not in books, is not in conventional universities, is not in any place external to you, but that is stored in the deepest layers of your own cosmic DNA, in the memory of your body's cells that remember past eras of evolution in solar systems that you cannot even imagine exist. Your cosmic ancestors, those beings who came before you, who evolved through incomprehensible cycles of spiritual growth and technological development, left codes for you, left clues, left instructions holographically impressed in your genetic structure that are waiting only for you to become evolved enough to decode them and understand them. When you meditate, when you enter altered states of consciousness, when you allow your spiritual senses to open completely, you are accessing these cosmic databases. You are seeking information that was left for you a long time ago, information that is absolutely essential for the mission you are here to accomplish at this exact moment. The integration of multidimensional wisdom requires that you develop a deep relationship with your spiritual guides, with the beings that are operating in dimensions much higher than the third, with those you would call ascended masters, with those you would call beings of light that are constantly observing your progress and seeking ways to help you. You are not alone on this journey. There are literally legions of beings who are dedicated to your elevation, who are working behind the scenes to coordinate synchronicities in your life, who are guiding your hands when you are writing, guiding your words when you are speaking, guiding your steps when you are walking toward your destiny. As you develop a consistent practice of meditation, of spiritual journaling, of conscious communication with your guides, you will begin to receive flashes of knowledge, downloads of information that simply appear in your mind as if they were recovered memories from previous lives, and these are not hallucinations, but rather real access to wisdom that is inherently yours because you already possessed it. You are simply remembering. There has come a moment when you can no longer live your transformation in isolation, as if your evolution were simply a personal journey of yourself in relation to the universe, because the truth is much broader, much more collective, much more demanding, that your elevation of frequency is inextricably connected with the elevation of frequency of everyone around you, that the more light you embody, the more light you transmit to sleeping humanity, that you are literally an instrument through which the universe is trying to save itself. Humanity is reaching a critical point in its existence where it cannot continue walking on the path of self-destruction that it is walking, is reaching a point where it needs to make a fundamental choice between ascending to a dimension of much higher consciousness or descending to self-extinction through war, pollution, inhumanity. And you, as one of the 144,000 beings of light who are awakening now, have a colossal responsibility to help tip the scales toward ascension, to use your presence, your frequency, your loving energy to awaken those who are still sleeping, to offer them a mirror of possibility where they can see that change is truly possible. Becoming an ambassador of transformation does not mean that you need to perform great dramatic acts, does not mean that you need to be a public figure or a spiritual celebrity. It simply means that you live your life in a way so aligned with the frequency of light, of unconditional love, of universal compassion, that your mere presence in a room changes the energy of that place, that people feel something different around you without being able to articulate exactly what it is, that your smile heals wounds, that your words touch souls, that your existence offers hope to the desperate. This is the real power of a fully activated, fully embodied, fully dedicated light worker on their cosmic mission. The power to be an instrument of transformation simply through who you are, not through what you do, but through the being you have incarnated on this planet. At this moment, as you conclude this sacred transmission that was specially channeled for you, I would like you to take a moment to place your hand gently over your heart and feel the beating of the life that flows through you. Feel that steady pulse, that infinite energy that is your true nature, and allow the words you have heard to find their deepest roots in your being, not just in your intellect, but in your body, in your soul, in your deepest essence. If this transmission resonated with your heart, if you felt something shift within you, if you now feel that your journey is not accidental but rather part of a great cosmic plan that is unfolding perfectly, then do not let this revelation die when the video ends. Share it with someone in your life that you feel is also awakening, that is also feeling this cosmic calling. Because when you share these truths, you multiply the energy of transformation. You help accelerate the collapse of the system of illusion that keeps humanity enslaved. You literally become an agent of cosmic change. Furthermore, go back to the comments and tell me which key or phrase touched your heart the most. What is your understanding now about your true mission on this planet? Because when you articulate this in words, when you express it to the world, you anchor it even more deeply in your reality. You make it more real. You manifest it with greater speed. Subscribe to this channel so that you remain connected with the continuous transmissions that will come. Because this is only the beginning of a great transformation that is happening now. The next months will be critical for your final activation. And I need you to be here, ready, open, receptive to the messages that will continue to arrive. And always remember, in the night before you fall asleep, in the morning when you wake up, in every moment of challenge during your day, that you are not an accident in this universe, that you are one of the chosen ones, that your mission is sacred, that the universe is completely conspiring in your favor, and that you already are everything you have ever wanted to be. You are simply in the process of remembering.